Do I
No,
need a
you're good. You're good.
go?
You're good.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So first and foremost, I commend you. This is a very pivotal moment in your life to veer towards the Dhamma, age 33. Anyone below age 35 and start veering towards the Dhamma is a good thing. You
Okay.
wait a little longer, near 40, and your memories start to fade quite fairly quickly, and it's difficult studying 84,000 teachings of the Buddha.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's what our great masters have said. Yeah, so you start young so that you absorb as much, practice and remember. Potent, let it marinate for a lifetime. It's tiring, right? After 30-something years old to make mistakes anyways, to repeat the mistakes and then realize, wow, my back really hurts this morning.
Yes,
I'm
that's true.
tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I don't want to do this anymore. So anyone who is wise and can see that very clearly realizes, oh, okay, well, let's not repeat this, and time to veer towards the path of wisdom, peace, and liberation.
Yes.
So kudos to you. And
Thank you.
let me see what else that you said. You said that you find his behavior disrespectful, and disrespectful to the teachings of the Buddha and the Buddha. So clearly you have a very strong faith and confidence in the triple gem, particularly the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. So
Yes.
that's also very impressive for someone like you in the West to adamantly have a strong position in that aspect, right?
Yes. Thank
Because
you.
most of my students are clueless. So I wait all day, all year to hear these statements from someone like you,
Oh, okay.
right? That's pretty impressive. It's no different than someone walking to the courtroom and then telling the judge, I just want to say I appreciate you and I really believe in the law. And the law does in fact protect people, and it's a good system, and the science, it just works. And our community is safer because of the construction of the law. And so when someone calls a monk and they said, Dear Venerable, I've been on this path, I want to get in this path, and whoever I'm dating is not on the same page as I am. And nonetheless, they also disrespect the great Lord Buddha, what all of us are standing for and believe in, and it's not congruent and consistent with my new way of life, my new vision and way of life. Okay?
Yeah.
So, very, very good, strong standpoint as a woman.
Thank you.
Proceeding on forward, after preliminary hearings and the findings of facts about this, and also know that I'm only hearing one side of the story.
Yes, I understand.
Right. And I'm training Venerable Lee, and I'm recording, so therefore I need to also always, when you listen to one side of the story, also remind them that whatever you're interpreting is based on one side of the story. But
Okay.
for what I have heard so far,
That makes me feel like it's a little unfair here, but I mean,
as long as you're honest,
we can proceed for the
it just
sake of the video.
it just means that if you're honest, then the interpretation will be as accurate, true, and correct. But if you play the victim game, like most people do, and blame it all on him and do not accept any fault on your own, then now's a good time to make amendments to your statements if you want. Because we make the interpretation based on the facts that you have stated.
Yes, no, everything I've stated is me being honest.
To the best of your ability and knowledge, under penalty
Yes.
of perjury. I'm just kidding. Okay, all right. So, we all want love, right? Humans, we all want love, but this is not at the same time. You notice that in life.
Mm-hmm.
And people are just not ready at certain age and stage of their life. And it is exactly that is disheartening, causes suffering for both parties, because you got one that has who wants to cultivate right view. And the word right view means you want to see clearly reality as it is. You want to see the Four Noble Truths as it is. Matter of fact, yesterday was Monday, and I actually missed my bi-weekly discussion with the monastic panel on right view, Sammaditthi, right view. So I'm probably going to go to hell for that. Because if a person doesn't have right view, everything else thereafter really doesn't matter.
Yes. Yeah.
The 7 Noble Eightfold Path really doesn't matter. So my schedule's been very busy lately, and I missed 2 very special appointments yesterday, and that just so happens to be one of them. And then you calling me, and you're like, Venerable, right view. All right. So right view, you want to see the Four Noble Truth. You want to investigate, you just want to see the Four Noble Truth. And if another person is not ready, perhaps not ready at this time, it would be wise to take a break.
Okay.
Using the word breakup is disheartening. It's dramatic, and a lot of people don't want to hear that because it creates so much distance, the end of the world type thinking, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the wise words here would be the consideration of taking a break for the sake of ensuring one's peace, for the sake of ensuring one's growth and development on the spiritual path at this age. It's like, honey, I love you. You know that I love you. But I'm like 33, you're 30 something, and what we're doing right now, what I'm trying to do and what you're doing right now is not consistent with
Yeah.
this very wise man called the Buddha.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's true.
and if you really wanted to get a little deeper, even Jesus studied with him. BBC documentary that suggests that the time that they didn't really know what Jesus was doing between 18 and 25 something, or till 30 something, 18 to 30 something, or 25 to 30 something. Where was he? Who was he chilling with? Well, he was chilling with the Buddha.
I didn't know that Jesus studied with Buddha.
Yeah, BBC documentary. You can look it up.
Okay.
And that warrants the consideration for further investigation as to who the Buddha actually really was, and why it makes him so great, and what he taught, and how it's so universal, and the clinical applications for human liberation, freedom, and peace. So you basically got to paint this picture so he understands that, look, listen, I know you all about that. I don't know what the hell going on. You're not opening up. You're not opening up to me about where the deep-rooted pain is. And you need to suggest. We need to, number one, describe the what. But then after the what, we also need to describe the how. How is he going to get the help that he needs, so that we don't see the repetitive behavior, destructive behavior in another 6 months, a year, and so on.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
So I'm helping you, right? I'm helping you make your case. I'm helping you put it in a way where he understands, so that both of you can come to a informed decision. Two informed couples making an informed decision acceptable to both parties, where there's no anger, resentment, and there's a full level of understanding about where we're at right now and why we think this is a good break to take, so that we can figure ourselves out. Okay. You have children that is involved, and anytime when you have children that is involved and someone is violating the precept, which is quite universal, right? The precept, you don't have to be Christian, you don't have to be Buddhist, you don't have to be anything, Muslim, whatever, to understand the precept is there for the sake of safety, to ensure safety, peace, and harmony for everyone that is involved in the world. Don't kill, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, refrain from sexual misconduct, refrain from intoxicating substances. And from what I heard, he's treading like 3 already.
Yes.
So that's a major violation. And the word violation should mean unwholesome, unskillful, untrained, uninformed, ill-advised decision. And it is not acceptable at this time with the existence of juvenile children in the home.
Yes.
Nothing good happens when someone is intoxicated with whatever substance that they choose. with the existence of very deep rooted pain that stems from childhood or midlife or early teen. It's not good. This is what I'm trying to say is it's a cocktail and recipe and ingredients for disaster. uh, which is what we don't want. What we don't want. And I don't know how you communicate with him. Perhaps if you write it out, it will also help both of you and help him reflect even more. I find writing a very good instrument and medium to communicate with another human being in a very deep way. Especially
Okay.
especially handwritten notes. It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
No. Yeah. If I.
so he was your
Um.
middle school sweetheart. I also had a middle school sweetheart, and her name was Portia. And Portia and I were in Miss Reynolds' class at Riviera Middle School. And she used to write me every day. That's crazy. She used to write me every day. And I read them and I was like, oh my God. Like she etched these words into my mind at in 8th grade. How much she loved me and cared and wanna be with me. And I'm like, dude, I'm in 8th grade. What the hell? You trying to love who? What is love? So you obviously thought this through. You're at a standstill, and my job is to be impartial. My job is not to take sides. My job is to see things clearly based on how you paint the picture of what's happening. And I just feel like it's in your best interest to investigate your fear, investigate your motive. The Buddha taught us to be self-reliant. So you also have to ask yourself in this time of your life, do you love yourself? Do you know who you are? Have you accepted who you are? Have you accepted your flaws, the good, the bad, and the ugly things about you, what you've done? It's hard questions. No one wants to hear these questions, and no one really, quite frankly, wants to answer them because they are, in fact, uncomfortable. For me, for you, for all. But it is exactly this that you will actually grow, is by and going through the pain of childhood trauma, addiction, or abuse, and of asking yourself, what is it that I fear? And I understand the story was and is that the existence of family being present or not present, and yeah, that's what women are supposed to do. Women would like and prefer to have a good, strong man be in their life, a good provider, to a protector, right? All of that thing that women are looking for. But we humans have become quite complicated, and we have channeled our intelligence for the wrong reason.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So right now is a good time, to take a step back and really do the homework on ourselves. And once we do the homework on ourselves, we become more patient, more tolerant, more enduring, more understanding, and perhaps you can help more people through it. But in the midst of your own struggles and battles of your own first noble truth, you would be compounding. If you carry this on, I find it tough. I see your suffering compounding. I see more sorrows. I don't see more laughter. I see more thorns. I don't see more roses. So you have to remediate yourself to learning the skills. Number one, learn about yourself. Number two, if you want to love, that you need to learn the skills, the life skills necessary to know how to love, right? Because, see, philosophy says, our great master, Venerable Thich Khan, said, wanting to love and not knowing the how wounds the person we want to love.
That's true.
Let that sink in for a second. I want to love you, but I don't know how. So I end up hurting you and not even know it. So what was the point and purpose? Now we are living a life of regret and sorrow, right? So that right there you can meditate on for an entire month. Let it sink in. So you have to remediate yourself because there's plenty of books on love. Trust me. I think Dr. Gordon wrote one on how to love. There's plenty. Just literally go on Amazon or thrift books and how to love. When I was your age, actually younger, when I was like 20 years old, I went into Barnes and Noble and there was a book on how to love. I still have it. It's red, and it was by Dr. Livingston and Gordon. Oh, it's a bunch of authors, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I looked at the title and I laughed, and I'm like, they really wrote a book on how to love. 'Cause it never sank into me. It never sank. I never gave too much thoughts about it. But I bought it though. I was just curious. I bought it and I read it and I realized, oh, wow. Okay, I'll consider it. All right. I mean, they have an MD and a PhD behind their name, so they obviously are quite intelligent and wise and know what they're talking about. It wasn't, somebody from
Yeah.
whatever profession that wrote it with, no degrees. So, I went through the same thing that all of you guys went through at a young age, and I realized that, all right, so I obviously don't know how to love me. Maybe I should go to school to study it. At age 23 was when I realized, okay, well, maybe I just need to stop being angry and controlling. So I literally remediated myself to Ecker College to study how to love. I study human development with an emphasis in counseling marital couples. In essence, that means studying how to love and how to counsel other people on how to love.
Okay.
What is love? What is not love? Okay. And I think this is a great time. The other question I forgot to ask, there's so many factors in these types of situation, is whether or not you are financially stable and able to take care of yourself, or whether or not that also plays a factor in such relationship where you guys are dependent on each other's finances in order to get by.
It was at one point he was helping me financially, but I was over time I've been able to find a better job. So he still helps out just a little bit, but I am for the most part financially stable.
Okay, good.
So that's not really a problem there.
Good.
Yeah.
You have a good standard. You have set a good voluntary standard for yourself, and you stand by them, right? A lot of females or males or any other humans, they don't stand by it. So they're like, I can't find good humans. Oh well, screw it. I'm just gonna go and just settle for less. And oh yeah, he does drugs. That's okay. I accept that too. Oh, he does this. Oh, that's okay. I accept that too.
No.
Not
me.
Yeah, but my job is not to judge, right? But it's not. But you have to think about the cocktails that we are accepting. And the Buddha taught the causes and conditions. So these are causes and conditions that you are creating for yourself based on the choices that you make and you're willing to accept and live through and live with, that will lead to either disaster or a life well lived. Make sense so far?
Yes.
Any questions so far?
No. Oh, wait. I did have a question. So you said that right now would be the best time to take a break until he gets his act together, or maybe never will. What does that mean, taking a break? Does that mean just completely cutting the person?
Well, I think it would be a gradual, you don't want to like cold turkey,
Yeah.
You want to gradually say, maybe we should see each other less, take more time to ourselves, whatever leisure activity that you enjoy, whatever leisure activity he enjoys. Your recommendation to him should be, I think that we both should seek counseling. And if he's willing to, go to couples counseling. If you can afford it or you have health insurance, go to couples counseling and work it out. If he wants to. He needs to show effort, diligence, persistence, that he is willing to go to counseling. If he cares about you, he will start trying to fix what the hell is happening here. He needs to question himself. Why am I touching this substance, that substance? Why do I have this addiction, that addiction? You know, it's like, are you ready to face the facts and the demons within? Just like every other man out there who have addiction issues, and you know, like how the question becomes, how long is he gonna run away from his troubles, pain, sorrow, misery, and the past? Because this is a form of running away. People mask the pain. They don't want to go through the pain. They want to run away from the pain. So your job as the patient woman and understanding woman that you are, the sweet, kind, loving woman, and to help him see this in a very non-judgmental way. You know, and just say, I love you, I care about you, and I really want to see you healed. I don't want to see you suffer anymore. Every time when I see you touch this stuff, you're suffering. It kills me. You know it kills me, right? Do you even know that it kills me? Yeah, you have to reason with them. You have to really let them know how it affects you, because you love them. That's why we're having this conversation, because you care about them and you really don't want to let go. I know you don't want to let go. But right now we have to figure this out the most intelligent, wise, gradual, slow way, so that you both see things more clearly, which is right view. So you don't, so I'm not telling you to cut cold turkey. What I'm telling you is, and I'll reemphasize again for the sake of long paragraphs that I have said, is to tell him how you feel. Tell him how it affects you. Ask him, this is what you're doing. This is how it affects me. Obviously, there's a deep root. There's the root cause of the problem. We don't know what it is. I'm wondering, my dear, if you would go to therapy with me, if you're willing to commit yourself to therapy, to try to work this out, figure this thing out, because I don't know. I can't read your mind. You won't share it with me. So perhaps share it with someone who is trained in the art of healing. We call that psychotherapy, or licensed mental health counselors, or psychologists, okay, or marriage family therapists, MFTs. And let's see where he goes from there. And then whatever your conversation is, you can report back to me. And then I will guide you where we will go after your talk. We don't have to make a decision tomorrow. We don't have to make a decision after this phone call. But this is just the start of it, and that's what I'm leaning towards, the recommendation for you so far.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Of course, you should have already expected this, right? Because anytime when someone get to this, you know, the magnitude of the type of addiction here, it's not conducive for everyone that is involved. It threatens the safety of everyone that is involved. That's first and foremost. So you have to ask yourself, if someone is violating the precept and it threatens the safety of the family systems and unit, what should I do? So hopefully you reflect on these words tonight, and if you forget, you can go back to the recording that is on my YouTube. You will see a bunch of boats and a lovely, what is that? A fence? What is that? What is that right there? Handrail. You will see handrail and boats, you know, rocking back and forth in an American flag, in regards to our conversation tonight. And then you just think about it. Just think about it, sit with it. You'll come up with a bunch more questions, and just send it to me.
Okay.
All right. We have.
Yeah, because right now he's kind of waiting for me to make up my mind. I mean, with the last situation that happened and what I found out today. So yeah, I do need to sit with it and think about it, because he's waiting for me to decide whether or not it's something I want to continue. So yeah.
So who's the leader of this relationship?
I mean, what do you mean by that?
Who's leading it? Who puts their foot down? I mean, it's got to be a leader, or else
I guess it would be more me.
There
more
you
me than him.
good. Now you put your foot down and you say what needs to be says. Damn it, I don't know my grammar tonight. All right, do what needs to be done.
Yes.
Say what needs to be said. You got to put your foot down. A lot of women save the man that they love by taking control. Not that kind of weird control, but but tell them, look, how long do you think we're gonna do this? How long do you think I'm gonna sit here and watch you do this in front of me or behind me? And
Yeah.
you think you're slick. You're not slick. Sometimes you have to confront in such a way that you crack the whip and they realize they can't be slick anymore playing games.
Yeah.
At 30-something years old, that game gets old. So just reflect on what we're talking about. And you have any other clarifications or something, we have the gracious presence of Venerable Lee, who's still hanging on to dear life with his monkhood here, trying to disrobe. And he will offer his views also. You have two brains of two monks that will help you and guide you through this so that you make the best choice possible.
Okay. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. I know it's getting late over there, so we'll let you rest. I know you're dealing with a lot, so we'll let you rest, and we'll chat in the forthcoming days as you think of more things, okay?
Okay.
Any question for Venerable Lee or myself before we conclude?
Not at this time. I'll go ahead and process and go back and listen, and I'm sure I'll have questions. So I'll just shoot you a message whenever those questions arise.
All right, Miss Jenny, you're doing a great job, huh? Keeping everything together as much as you can. So, strong woman. Yeah, you have our blessings. And be well, be happy, and be free. And we will talk with you in the forthcoming days, all right?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.